By the end of today's lesson, you will know how to describe your body size and weight, as well as those of others. Let's get into it. So, if you are big in size, you can say meson. Meson. So the son here is a verb which means to be big. All right, to be big. So if you say meson, you are saying I am big. All right. Let's say you are very big. You can say mesopa. Mesopa. And since this is a verb, we can also negate it. So instead of meson, I am big, I can say menson. Menson, I am not big. All right, menson. If I want to say I am not big at all, I can say mensokra. 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 I can also say mensosa. Mensosa. Mensosa, I am not that big. Okay, mensosa. I can say menshedanson. Menshedanson. From our last lesson, we learned that sheda, the phrasal verb sheda, means to be intentional about something, right? But then I told you that we can use the negative form of this phrasal verb to convey a not really meaning. So when I say menshedanson, I'm saying I'm not really big. Okay, so I'm big, but I'm not really big. Okay, so you can use this or the previous one, mensosa, I'm not that big. Okay, we can also combine the two. We can say menshedansosa. Menshedansosa. So this is one way of describing the fact that you are big in size. But we can also use the adjective kesie. Okay, kesie. So if I want to say, for example, I am a big person, I can say meye nipa kesie. Meye nipa kesie. Okay, meye nipa kesie. So we have kesie as big, the adjective big. We have a lesson on the adjectives up here. Okay, so meye nipa kesie, I am a big person. If we want to negate this, we will negate the to be verb ye in the middle, and then we will have menye nipa kesie. Menye nipa kesie, I am not a big person. Okay, menye nipa kesie. Now, if you want to say I am slim, you would say meye tia tia. Meye tia tia. Okay, meye tia tia. So we have tia tia as slim. All right. If you want to say I am a slim person, you can say meye nipa tia tia. Meye nipa tia tia. We can negate this and then we'll have menye nipa tia tia. Menye nipa tia tia, or simply menye tia tia. Menye tia tia. There is another version of this tia tia which you can use to describe yourself if you are very slim. So we have that as tia. Tia. So you can say meye tia. Meye tia. In Ghana, we have an expression that we use to describe, beautiful, very slim ladies, and that is atia donku. Atia donku. Atia donku. Adonku here is a swing. So atia donku, a beautiful swinging lady. Okay, so we have atia donku. There's another version of this tia which can come off as derogatory. You would use this if you want to be derogatory or you want to ridicule someone. Mostly that is how it is used, and that is fia. Fia, and that is for someone who is very slim, like, lean, right? In Ghana, someone can insult you with this. Sometimes they would say, why fia sa wana ya pepa ho? Why fia sa wana ya pepa ho? So one, the number one. When you write it on a board, one in itself is already slim, right? It's slim. So they would describe you, they would say, why fia sa wana ya pepa ho? Pepa means to clean or to wipe. So popahon means to clean, around it, right? A side of it. So you are as lean as the number one that maybe half has been cleaned off or wiped off. But don't use that. This is an insult. Let's go to the next one. We have mafon. Mafon. Fon is a verb which means to be lean, but mostly as a result of you having lost weight. Okay? So you can use this to describe the state of you being very lean, but it has that, connotation. It has the connotation that you used to be big and now you've lost considerable weight to a point where you look lean, right? So mafon, okay? Mafon. If someone doesn't eat well, you can say when idia obefon, okay? When idia obefon. If you don't eat, you lose weight, you become lean. So an instance where you would use this to describe yourself would be maybe, let's say, because of sickness, you've lost considerable weight, right? So you would say yare amama fon, okay? Yare amama fon. Sometimes we would say wafon se pray. Wafon se pray. And this again is an insult. We have prayer as a broom, right? So wafon se pray, you are as lean as a broomstick. The next one uses a word that is more of a slang, and that word is obolobu. Obolobu, and obolobu is, a very big person, okay, a very big person. So if you describe yourself with mekyea obolobu, you are saying you are very big. So mekyea obolobu. And again, this can have, a negative connotation. You would typically use this if you want to ridicule someone, all right? So if you say mekyea obolobu, you yourself, you are saying you are very big, you are obese, right? And then we also have honeho. Honeho. So I can say mekyea honeho. Mekyea honeho. Honeho means you are neither here nor there, right? So we have ho from a ho, which is there, and then we have ne, which is end, the conjunction end, and another ho, there. So when you say mekyea honeho, literally you are saying I am there and there, right? So you are neither here nor there. But you can only use this when context has been established. So we know we are talking about body size, right? Or weight. Once that context is established, when you say mekyea honeho, then we understand that you mean you are neither big nor slim. And then for weight, you can say mimudru, okay? Mimudru or mimudu, okay? Mimudu, and that means I am heavy in weight, okay? Mimudru. Literally, this means my inside is heavy. So that is actually how we convey you being, having weight, right? Being heavy. So you say mimudru, I am heavy. So we can negate the to be verb here, and then we'll have mimunyedru, okay? Mimunyedru or mimunyedu. So my inside is not heavy. Now let's describe the body size and weight of other people. So in the first part, I said meson, I am big, right? Now, if I want to describe somebody else as being big, I can say oson. Oson, he or she is big. Oson, okay? Oson. If I want to describe somebody else as being very big, I would say osopa. Osopa, okay? Osopa. Now, since it's a verb, you can see that I attach it to the subject pronoun, right? But if the subject is a noun, so let's say the subject is a name of a person, then I will split it, right? So I would say, for example, Kwame So. Kwame So, okay? Or Adwoa Sopa. Adwoa Sopa. Again, we can negate this verb. We said son is a verb, right? To be big. So we can negate that and then we'll have onso. Onso, okay? Onso. Onso kra. Onso kra, okay? Onso sa. Onso sa. Onhyɛ da nso. Onhyɛ da nso. And then we can use the adjective kɛseɛ to describe someone else as being big. So I can say, for example, ɔyɛ nipa kɛseɛ. Ɔyɛ nipa kɛseɛ, okay? Ɔyɛ nipa kɛseɛ. If I want to negate this, I would say ɔnyɛ nipa kɛseɛ. Ɔnyɛ nipa kɛseɛ, okay? Instead of, the subject pronoun, I can replace this with a name. So I can say Kwabena ye nipa kɛseɛ. Kwabena ye nipa kɛseɛ. Or Kwame nye nipa kɛseɛ. Kwame nye nipa kɛseɛ. If the person is slim, we can say ɔyɛ tia tia. Ɔyɛ tia tia, okay? Kwame ye tia tia. Ama ye tia tia. And again, we can negate this. So we negate the descriptive to be verb. So we'll have onye tia tia. Onye tia tia, okay? Oforiwa nye tia tia. Oforiwa nye tia tia. Again, instead of oye tia tia, we can say oye nipa tia tia. Oye nipa tia tia. He or she is a slim person, okay? Oye nipa tia tia. Ama ye nipa tia tia. Ama ye nipa tia tia. Again, we can negate this and then we have onye nipa tia tia. Onye nipa tia tia. Akosua nye nipa tia tia. Akosua nye nipa tia tia. Okay? Akosua nye nipa tia tia. Do you remember obolobo? Obolobo, I told you this is more of a slang that we use to describe people who are obese, right? So I can say oye obolobo. Oye obolobo. He or she is very big, right? Oye obolobo. Instead of, the pronoun, I can use a name. So I can say abena ye obolobo. Okay? Abena ye obolobo. O police ni no ye obolobo. O police ni no ye obolobo. O kyerɛkyerɛ ni no nye obolobo. O kyerɛkyerɛ ni no nye obolobo. All right? Now, do you remember honeho? I told you when you use honeho, it means you are neither here nor there, right? But I said context has to be established before you can use this. You can't just out of the blue say, oye honeho, for example. Context has to be established that we are talking about, body size or weight before you can use this so that, we understand that by honeho, you mean the person is neither big nor slim, right? So once context is established, you can say, Kwabena ye honeho. Kwabena ye honeho. Or just oye honeho. Oye honeho. Now for weight, we can say nimudru. Nimudru. Okay? Nimudru. His or her inside is heavy. All right? So we use this to say the person is heavy, right? So nimudru. Nimudru or simply nimudu. Nimudu. Okay? So instead of the possessive adjective ne, his or her, we can replace that with, the person's name. So we can say Amachimudu. Amachimudu. Kwame Mudru. Kwame Mudru. And if you want to negate this, you simply negate the to be verb here. So you have Nemunyedru. Nemunyedru. Okay? Nemunyedru. Kwabena munyedru. Kwabena munyedru, okay? Kwabena munyedru.